I love it. I love it.
Because if people are not that knowledgeable,
Yeah, no, I love it.
how come such and such?
Yeah.
No such thing as a stupid question.
Why does the timpani player smell as well?
Like, I'll mention that
Why does
that.
the timpani player smell
I
as well?
didn't say it. You said
In fact, I'll tell them that that's okay. Well, right now. Hi, everybody. So, first of all, there's no fourth wall. We can see you. We were just having a discussion here. Not everybody here is a musician, so we decided that in between movements, since you're going to applaud anyway, which is absolutely okay. We like positive reinforcement. Also, if you have any questions about, what is this thing? Or what's that? Yes, what's your question?
What is that thing?
what are all those things?
Yeah.
Okay, what? Okay, so before we do that, because this is actually the second performance of the night. The first performance of the night was the Altus Experience.
Yeah.
This wonderful Jenna. So please, Jenna, come
Jenna.
up here.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
Yes.
What a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you all for enjoying.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure.
It's hard not to.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't usually get that kind of applause. That was really nice.
You're just like washing dishes alone.
To your question, what are all these things? So, we are a Woodwind Quintet. What is a Woodwind Quintet? It's like a string quartet, except cheaper. I know that. I wish it wasn't accurate. So, before there was radio, before there was when people wanted music, they played the music at home. And that's still the same today, right? I mean, a garage band is chamber music. A rock band is chamber music. A jazz ensemble is chamber music, right? We're just playing chamber music from for example, our first piece, Italy, sometime in 17 whatever, right? So obviously the big blockbuster entertainment of that day was the Grand Opera. Well, let's say you were like not the king. Okay, so then you got to hear that at home. And let's say you couldn't afford a string quartet, right? Then you get a wind quintet to play a piece by these people like Campini and Richel. Well, I mean, like, just get straight to the point, right?
The not
Yeah, right. And so the wooden quintet is comprised of the clarinet, flute.
And today I have the petite flute, piccolo. That'll come out a few times.
Yeah. Oboe. French horn. Bassoon. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That one's a bassoon. Yeah.
And you all know why the bassoon is better than the oboe, right?
Yes.
Because it burns long. It burns longer.
It burns longer. It gets cold sometimes in the winter.
One of my sisters used to call it the
So
piccolo.
this first piece we're going to play by Riccialdi is in 3 movements. There's a fast movement, slow movement, another fast movement. Or you can think of it like an opera. There's a first act, then there's a second act, and then there's a third act. And then I forgot what I was actually going to say because that was actually pretty funny now what it was. But I guess like we got plenty of time. We can talk about it later.
All right.
So this is Riccialdi Quintet, Opus 124 for those who are keeping track. 3 movements.
Yes, please.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think that's what it was. This is the second in these. I guess now it's a series because this is the second one. And a concert series is a attention-seeking activity. So if you can't resist the temptation to take video, or whatever, cool. Just make sure you tag the chamber music party on Instagram if you share that, right? Because that way people can see and they can come to the next one, right? Let the audience at home pay for the concert tickets next time you come. All right. Yeah, we probably should too. Oh, let me get these pages in the right order. That I checked.
So I don't know if you all know what we did. I think it's the tuning. Is that standard? Does everyone know what that is, or do you want me to explain?
Explain.
actually, can you play a B flat? And I'll play an A. So this is out of tune. That's unpleasant. So before we start, of course, instruments are complicated, so anytime we play a note, we have to adjust a little, because out of respect for our colleagues and for you, we want to sound in tune. And so before we start, we all play a concert A, and everyone gets at least that one pitch together, so we have a fighting chance. And the way it works is, like for my flute, if I'm a little too high, I pull the head joint out a teensy bit, and I make my flute a little bit longer, so it's a little bit lower. And then if I'm flat, I push it in a little bit. Yeah, and that's why the same thing, like long is low, short is high, so that's why Alex is so low. And Sarah, because you can't see, but she has like lots and lots of.
Yeah, if you unwrap that thing, it would
Like
fill the whole room.
When you hear this is very, very high because it's so short. So. One thing that I did in that movement that some people are interested in, maybe you are too, is called double tonguing. So all winds, when we start a note, we have to start it so it's not just like, and if we want to go fast, if you try to go, there's only so fast you can go. So if we want to go really fast, we double tongue, we go tuku, tuku, tuku. Or maybe I'm the only one in this
No, I
group.
got it.
You guys
Got it.
can. Oh, okay. So if you hear, I did that some in this one, and if you hear anyone doing that, just you can know they're double tonguing.
So how do you do that?
You can do it yourself without an instrument. So tuku, just so like the tongue, the front part of the tongue, and then the back part, so that you can go twice as fast.
Okay. I think you overestimate me.
Any fool can do it.
narrative of this opera so far, and it seems like everything everything's gonna be fine.
Oh.
Right? Yeah, well, like it ended in a major key, we're good. What's gonna happen next?
You did say fast moving happens next.
Oh.
Buckle up. Ready?
why I didn't need those anymore. They were just in the way now. In classical music, there are three basic types of chamber ensembles because everybody in the orchestra needs a gig. Because the orchestra's not big enough. Yeah, I know. It's not really funny, but it's not a joke, but it sure is funny. So there's the string quartet, right, which is the audience is observing a intimate conversation between related people, right? So all those kind of same scenarios are just big or small versions of the same instrument piece, right? And then there's brass quintet, which is the same thing, like in this intimate conversation between well-known people. And what I love about the Woodwind quintet is a interesting conversation between perfect strangers. Right? You all play these completely different instruments. So I'm using this to kill time because I have to switch instruments. So you're wondering why I'm doing that. This one's not broken. The clarinet is based on an old Turkish instrument called the Shawn. And it was super popular in Paris in the late Baroque or late 1600s and then early classical or 1700s. And the problem with it is it only, well, once I get this reed back on, I'll show you, it can only play these low notes. And so Johann Christoph Denner, a German instrument maker who was, busy making recorders because that was like the hot instrument to play back then. It's like, oh, I got an idea. I can add this key and then it can play all these high notes. So I'll show you what I'm talking about once I put it back together. But the problem was, once he did this, then the board was a weird shape. So oboe, flute, all these instruments, even the horn, it's a pipe, right? If you cut in half, you get an octave above that. Clarinet, you get a 12th, which all you need to know about that is what happens if you your embouchure is a little bit bad on the clarinet. What you do is you're going to get a note that's going to come out very high pitch and a very loud sound in the wrong key. Some people call that a suite. It's not a suite. It's just a wrong note. Right? So the shallow can only do this. And then you add this little register key here. Thanks to others, you do. Right? So that note, right? That's if you're doing it on purpose, that's a C. If you do it by accident, it's a wrong note, not a C.
Were you just circular breathing, or did you?
Oh yes, okay. So she was talking about she was saying circular breathing, right? So it's a wooden instrument. So you have to blow in air, take in air to blow out air to make it sound, right? And then the water that drips out is water because science, your body is 97.8 degrees or close thereon, and the clarinet is room temperature. So if you're ever stuck on a desert island, what you do is get a clarinet and just blow and you have a fresh supply of water.
Don't tell them this.
It's good advice.
No, it's not.
What if they're on a desert island?
With a clarinet.
So sometimes you play notes that last longer than the amount of air that you have. So in the clarinet, because we have a lot of back pressure and it's getting rid of the signs of it, you can do something called circular breathing, which is it's all different objection. And you can inhale and exhale, because one of the things that might happen if you're playing a concert, particularly if you get nervous, something might get taking too much air, which feels just as uncomfortable as not having enough. So you can also inhale and exhale through your nose while you're playing. Any other? Yes, sir.
So,
Careful.
it's because there's back pressure.
Yes.
I've always wondered how people do this, saxophone players.
It's because of
like
that.
Kennedy held a note for like 49 minutes or something once upon a
Yeah,
time.
and the saxophone, by the way, is a clarinet.
I know that, and I was going to say, yeah, because we had conversation, we were in our cups, but we
yeah, it's fourth clarinet. If there's anything else, I'll talk about the next piece if you're ready for that.
Sure.
There are flutists, for the record. I don't know how, but there are flutists who circular breathe. It's just so much harder because there's no
You
back
don't-
My
pressure.
mom told me it's like a really special talent. She's a flautist, so
Oh, cool.
that's why
Yeah.
I was
Can
very
she?
interested.
Can she circular breathe?
I think she could at one point, but she plays like once every 10 years now.
Oh.
so.
That's like,
By the way, don't forget, let me forget, I'll need another A, because new instrument.
yeah, I need
Um,
one too.
So the next piece we're going to play is by German composer Paul Hindemith. It's more of a modern piece, and it's part of a series of works called Kleine Kammermusik, right? I am not an excellent German speaker, but I love a good double entendre. So everyone knows it, right? Yum, bum, bum, yum, bum, 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 yum, bum. Yeah, know that, right? Right, yes, you know, right? So, Mozart, I kinda knocked music, right? It means a little light music. It's very clear what's happening, that there's nothing wrong, unusual about the size of the evening. It's the music. That's lovely, right? So this piece is called Kleine Kammermusik, which you translate it literally, which is the same joke in both languages, is small chamber music, right? And I think as you hear the piece go along, you start asking yourself, why is this room so small? So it's a piece that it's a bit tongue-in-cheek, sort of dark humor, unless you like that sort of thing and it's really fun. And it's in five movements. Starts off with this sort of like sinister little march. I mean, all you know about this person going down this march is they're very official, they're doing something very evil, and they're very happy about it. At least that's my interpretation of it. Then there is a waltz, because you always gotta have a party, right? And then there is a slow string movement, you know, maybe a crisis of conscience, who knows? There's one sort of like joke that I like in this. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but you know, within the orchestra, when each instruments have certain like personality characteristics, and as you might have figured out, woodwind players are not known for being the most serious of the instrument family. In our parts, I'm going to try to speak very bad German here. In our parts, in this slow movement, it says "im gleichen ruhigen Zeitmaß," which roughly means in the same calm tempo. And then in the clarinet part, the flute part, the oboe part, and the bassoon part, but not the horn part, it says "nicht scherzando," like it's not a joke. Like play like it's not funny. So then there's that movement, and then the fourth movement is sort of like almost like a jazz comp. Like everyone's got this little solo, there's a riff and some solo, and then it goes to the end. Shall we? Sorry, and I didn't want to give away, but by that saying the end that way, what I figure is that you'll hear that, you know, the piece is now coming to a very, very soon end. It's kind of fun. Shall we?
Yes.
So now that we've terrified you, we're gonna get to a little bedtime. Yes, sir.
Is the second movement supposed to feel sort of morbid? It almost gave me like ghost
Yes.
vibes.
Yeah, you're supposed to be wondering why is this room so small?
Wonderful.
You know what historical reference I think? I'm always thinking of like, I shouldn't say
Dead
that.
person vibes.
I think of the Romanovs, like, they're kind of stuck in a small room and like,
It always comes back to the Roman.
there's a little waltz because like, you know, you still dance a little bit, but it's not gonna, you know, the home play's not gonna miss at the end. The room's so small.
Are we thinking about the waltz or the waltz?
The waltz, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah, maybe the waltz.
twisted.
I think the whole thing is twisted. It's a very strange piece. So speaking of kings, the last piece we're going to play for you is a suite called La Chemin du Roi René. So now I get to purchase some French too. Translated. So what it really means, so chimney's not really, but it kind of means like the fireplace. Like, so it's like talking about the court of this King René, right? And so it's like these scenes. It was actually, the piece was actually originally written for a silent movie. The piece is actually what you, in like the literal sense of parody, right? It's imitating music of the Renaissance using modern instruments. It's in eight movements. First one is called it's protege. It's like the people walking in the court, right? Everyone's got their fancy clothes on. Everyone's coming around, having a big party at the king's house. The next one is the morning serenade. You know, you get woken up to music playing because you're staying at the king's house. You know, what else are you expecting? And then the third movement is jugglers. It's going to be some entertainment.
I do like the juggling.
It's fun, right? And then the fourth movement is Notre-Dame, which is actually a town in France, right? So there's this vision of this place that you go in. No, think of that. So I thought it meant something else. Because like later I thought it was like kind of like wood or something like that. Is the word.
Well, there are probably woods in that town.
There's probably woods in that town. The fifth movement is called Joust sur l'Arc. And the arc in this case is actually a river, right? So it's like, you know, you're having a jousting match down by the river. Then there's a hunting scene. There's a hunting scene, followed by unmanageable nocturnes so we can all just go to bed and have nice sweet dreams. Enjoy. Mio, Shindu Marvin.
Thank you.
Make two rows.
Because I never get to do barefoot concerts.
Oh, yeah,
Make sure it gets the feet in.
yeah.
Or I can
When
like,
you get in front of the rows. And then after the picture,
It's more
everyone's
deal.
Just like, you know, like this. you all so much for coming, and I hope you enjoy it.
Smiles are, that's perfect. We're doing it. That's the landscape.
It's gonna bridge.
And we're still happy to answer questions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're still here.
Next show.
Oh, when is next year? That is an excellent question. By the way, guys, I don't know if you all, some of you got some of this. So we're actually gonna play at a museum in October. I don't know if you all knew that, but now you do. The Museum of Boulder, this Quintet will play in the Museum of Boulder, and sometime we're setting the date, it'll be soon. And you can always find on my Instagram at the King Music Party, I'll put, and then the next concert here, probably sometime in the fall. I'm planning a clarinet and string quartet thing, maybe September, so keep posted, yes.
When you think about where you're gonna play, do you take the acoustics into account? Like, this was obviously your intro.
I took so first of all, let's thank our host, Unitarian Universal Church of Boulder. And in particular, my former neighbor who works here, so that's how I found
Was
it.
it Rachel?
Yes, Rachel,
Yeah, I brought it from the way, I'm pretty sure she works here,
Yeah. Great. More beer and
Questions?
Cool, yeah, and there's more beer and cooler.
I think we had some questions about the bassoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Who had a question?
I just saw a hand.
How many octaves can the bassoon do?
That's a good
So
question.
you want to know what the range of the bassoon is?
Can we hear it?
About 25 yards with a good arm?
Can we hear it?
Yeah, sure.
I've never heard that.
So now you put me on the spot after playing the whole concert. You want to hear high notes. That's great.
These are the jokes, this one.
I know.
So the bassoon is an interesting instrument because it has definitely different characters. You heard a little bit of the different characters of the clarinet earlier, based on how it developed, and the bassoon is a similar kind of thing. So there's the low range of the bassoon, which is what people often think of, and it's sometimes it really evokes certain character sounds. So this is well, there's that's but check out this one. See if you recognize this. Which character? No, it's grandfather who tells Peter not to go into the woods. Okay. So that's the low range of the bassoon. You have the middle range of the bassoon, which
I know.
go
I
away,
can't
wolf.
really-
That's the wolf. Shoot.
Oh no, I put wrong. No, that's so embarrassing.
So the middle range of the bassoon is sometimes we call it the money register. It's where all the beautiful solos are. And so when the bassoon gets to play a really singing tenor lyrical solo in orchestras, often it's in the tenor register, which is the middle range. Okay, so that's another character. And then some composers figured out, and of course bassoon players probably over a beer or something said, oh, I can play higher. They decided to start writing high stuff. And so you have some really crazy high solos that take on a completely different character again. And those are the really risky ones. Because when you're tired and your reed's been playing all day, sometimes it doesn't want to do it. But we'll see what happens. So one of the more famous ones.
Oh wait, are you going to do the one thing? Because I'm gonna.
Oh, what is this about?
Just wait a second.
Oh, he just wants to get out of the blast
No,
zone.
no, no. By the way, I'm imitating real events.
Oh, okay. So this is
Yeah, you'll remember this
Can
already.
we do the
Yeah. You do the dancing. Yeah.
this will be interesting.
This is
I don't know.
Apparently they know it's from a ballet. So this is a very famous
Oh no,
piece.
that's what they're doing at the beginning. I'm not gonna do
This is a very famous piece by Igor Stravinsky. This piece actually caused. What is
Just play it. We're reinventing.
It's a recreation.
All right. Oh, I see what he's going for.
I'm an 80-year-old man named Camille Saint-Saëns. That's who I'm playing. This really happened. No way. Yes.
that to demonstrate the high range.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it would turn into a whole acting session.
So, going to that story. So, there was a riot. No one got hurt. Well, except the chair, obviously, and a couple Dalis. Don't worry, he wasn't famous in Super Cheap, because he did the sets, the Arch Dali. And in Camille Saint-Saëns's defense, he was 80, and there were like 13 pieces on this program, just like one of the last ones. So it started this big, huge riot. They couldn't go on with the concert. Then later the concert went on, it was fine. And you know what Stravinsky said about that solo? Because, say, if I knew in my lifetime bassoonists could learn how to play it, I would have written it higher.
So that's different characters of the bassoon. That's close to the top range of the bassoon when I just played there.
So you said if your reed was not worn out, does a reed only go for one performance?
Well, I'll tell you, I got a whole box of reeds here, and
Yeah.
some of them are better at some things than others.
Okay.
Don't have any performances of that sort of solo coming up, so I don't really have anything in the box that's like perfect for it. But we would spend time making reeds to play really just that thing perfectly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh.
Because it is a tricky thing to do on bassoon. It's
So the resonance of the reed is what?
the construction of the reed has a lot to
So
do.
show them their reed versus mine. So their oboe and bassoon are double reeds, so it's like just two pieces of wood together, and there's no mouthpiece. And then I have this.
So we got a whole bunch of these guys here.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Slab
if
tied
you
on.
look down like the bore of it, it's really tiny, but there's a little hole between these two little tiny pieces of quote unquote wood. It's really like a cane, like a little piece of sort of clarinet reed, but really tiny. And so we blow through that little hole. And so bassoonists and oboists, we make our own reeds, and we make them kind of tailored for things because we can, because we've been doing it for a while. You know, you wouldn't ask a sixth grader, oh, can you make a Stravinsky reed? They wouldn't.
And
You
they're
know,
like obsessed with it. Like oboes are very tense people. And
Some oboes
they
are
are.
tense.
And even during performances, like I play a lot with the Indian orchestra, and in between and the whole concert, they're still building their reeds like in the middle of it. It's so stressful.
yeah. So like
It
listen,
seems stressful.
in
Bassoon
this
players are way more
concert,
Well, is it easier for bassoons? Why is
You know what?
that?
And Ian, you can confirm or deny this. I think that our reeds just last longer, so we're not as panicked about them dying. An oboe reed can last the first half of a concert,
Oh,
and it's
really?
dead.
yeah. Well,
It works
so
great at the beginning, and you can't play the second half.
it's hard. Like I don't know if you can see. There's any light coming through, but like you can maybe see there's light coming through the very top of this. Like it's
Yeah,
that
it's really-
thin.
yeah.
I can't even
Like it's
see
actually
the
it's thinner than a human hair.
Yeah.
So you know the saliva in your mouth is meant for digesting food, so it's very slowly digesting our reed. So they're doing gas forever. Yeah.
So what's the base material?
It's a rundo donax, which is a kind of cane. It sort of looks like bamboo, but it's a relative of bamboo.
Okay.
Grows very, very, very tall, often in wet, hot environments like the south of France is like where a lot of it grows, but also Mexico, also China, anywhere that can grow that kind of thing. In fact, it grows, where is it?
Boulder today.
Bowler today.
There's been enough rain recently.
How much does the French horn have to hold back?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's such a good question.
That is a good
And I want to say some other things too, because I just feel like
I just feel like you should be back up.
we
So she's not going to hold back now.
So I was like preparing this little monologue in my head, and it sort of addresses this, and it's like, why is the horn in the wind quintet? And it's
We'd be lost without you.
yeah, it's true. But because back in the day when Haydn and people of that era, so like early classical, the horn was the only brass instrument in the orchestra. Trumpets were joined for special occasions, but they weren't really there that much. But horn was like a further modified and adapted instrument at that point. We had more crooks than trumpets did, and we also had this hand technique, so we could do more things with our sound than trumpet players could, and also trombones. We were invited to the orchestra party, and they were like, we need to give something to the principal winds to do, because they will get bored and they'll start riots also. So back then, since it was a hunting horn originally, right, like that sort of like the Mio that we played, but we had this hand technique by then, which actually made the instrument softer. So the original horn in orchestra was a softer instrument. So I would not have had to have worked as hard back then.
So you're saying the modern horn is designed to project much better.
Yes, so the modern horn projects much more like a trumpet or trombone, even though we still face backwards, than it used to. It used to be more like a woodwind instrument because they were just sitting here going. Like, listen to how quiet that is.
It was right in my face. It wasn't offensive.
Yeah. So yeah, these days, like the last French piece that we played, that's like definitely like French music like that is pretty delicate to begin with, but it's definitely written to match the timbres of these other instruments, and so it is a little bit of a different skill. Yeah.
I would say an interesting thing, like Shawn was mentioning earlier, a wooden quintet is different from other types of ensembles. A string ensemble is made up of string instruments that all have a very similar timbre, right? A brass quintet would be made up of brass instruments that all have a very similar timbre. Flute is totally different from oboe, from bassoon, from clarinet. All these sounds are very different, produced in different ways. So the challenge for a group like this is to, and Sarah did a great job,
Yes.
to match who you're playing with, to find out who's got the melody, and try to bring your sound to them, to change exactly what your instrument naturally does to be closer to what they are doing. So it's always, you're constantly shifting how you're playing your own instrument to match those around you.
I don't know if Alex did this, but I did this, like the reed, because I also have a box of reeds, like the one that I made that I played on tonight, I made because I thought it would blend well with these folks and not stick out too much. Like it's not the same kind of reed I would play in an orchestra if I had to project above, 85 other people. I made it one that, and also I have to play lots of soft low notes, which this does very poorly, so I was like just, right before this, when you were eating in there, I was scraping away on the reed to make sure it would play soft low notes.
I thought you were putting cheese on your
That's it.
Grate some cheese over there.
Little pun.
Yeah, you guys don't have to hang out if you don't want to.
Yeah. You're dismissed, Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.